What does sacred mean? Sacred, that incredible word, means to set apart. And your consciousness, your mind, every part of you is divided. Every part of you is divided, and parts of it are set apart. And yet the set apart parts come together in such a beautiful way to make a whole you. Your lungs are your lungs, your heart, your brain, the nervous tissue that connects them all, the kidneys, individual fingers, individual bones. Each one of those right within you sacred, and yet they all come together to make you. And as the world science, the ancient wisdom, the science of Chinese medicine, Indian medicine, Hippocrates medicine teaches, the majority of you is in this set apart sacred space. This set apart sacred space is affected by the moon, by the sun, by solar flares, by eclipses, by, oh my gosh, everything that is moving in our universe. And when we slow it down, when you slow down enough, you can see and feel and experience it pop in and out of reality. It's quite extraordinary. It's quite a rush. And you get moments to begin jumping into that when you start to meditate, right? Some say 95% of you is the unconscious, the subconscious mind. What does that mean? And 5%, maybe 10% at most is your conscious, your thinking. The work of Jill Bolte Taylor shows the divisions in the brain. The work of many others says there's at least 144 different parts of you that are communicating with you inwards. You bring all the parts of you together, that subconscious below your awareness mind together. How do you get access to that? Oh, and are there times that you have more access to your subtle energy, to that 95% of you? Well, during the new moon and during the full moon and during specific cosmic alignments, you're in a really powerful time. And it's so beautiful to have, right here, I've got lavender representing the earth. I've got, here we've got fire. I've got it all over, candles lit. Yesterday in our home, it was quite extraordinary. I have a new assistant that I'm quite excited about, was helping move things in my son's room. We're cleansing it completely. And a broom that was leaning up against the wall popped up, knocked on the mirror that was right next to it, knocked. We heard the broom knock, and it was standing up straight up and down. And I remembered this video where I talked about this candle standing straight up and down in front of Saint Teresa with on a retreat that I was leading in Italy. Quite extraordinary. Carolyn Mace talks about the elementals. Carolyn Mace, a great medical intuitive and just a national treasure. She's been studied as what does medical intuitive mean, right? Medical intuitive, you're able to see into the 95%, the subtle energy, and call out the wholeness. She talked about leading a retreat herself, and the elements of the land had not been honored. And my young assistant was like, oh my gosh, I've felt spirit before. I can feel the spirit here. Of course, we began communicating. If everything comes from source, from love, is created by beautiful source, the universe, by subtle energy, by oneness, here in our home, it stood up and it answered yes. It moved, it waved for the yes energy. And Kai caught a picture. He took a picture. I didn't take pictures at the time, but we made sacred that room. We set it apart. We set it apart for the masculine energy. We dedicated it. Yesterday happened to be, every day there is an angel, there is a card, there is a knowing. And Kai got it feels like a J name. And that day, St. Joseph had come into meditations, into the cards. And that's the quintessential masculine, giving, trusting, loving father energy. That energy, right? Before to understand something, we have to name it. And the masculine, the quintessential, the one that would believe a woman, when a woman, the story of Joseph and Mary, right? What does this have to do with the new moon? Carl Jung studied archetypes and brought in and listed the 64 different archetypes. The ancient ones defined out and said our earth is affected by 12 different signs. We labeled the times and labeled the energies. The Mayans, the Aztecs, their calendars, and they made all of these different archetypes to help you, help me, help humanity understand their magnetic, your electric, your, oh my gosh, gravity. You're a physical being as well as spirit, connected to the spirit of the moon, connected to a whole with the sun. What happens to the sun happens to the moon, happens to the earth. And during this time, if you set apart this time and you do a simple ceremony, the DNA within you, the components within you, the parts within you remember, and they access, and they bring together, and they draw upon the greatest gifts that are held in trust for you. The elementals, right? So like the periodic table, so beautiful. At one time, helium was, right? This got hydrogen, helium, organized, all of the same molecules, all of the same form, reorganized over and over again with different layers to them. Same energy, same components, different layers, different subtle energy, different reactivity. That's exactly what you have. You have all the same components as the stars, as the cosmos, as the earth. You're filled with these elements. If your body reacts to something, there's a receptor in there for you. We're still discovering all that you can do. So what are you going to need? A beautiful bath, right? To take a beautiful bath for your new moon ceremony. Symbolically in your mind, washing off the past. In that bath, you bring the elements, the traditional ones spoken by the Indians, the Greeks, the Chinese, the Egyptians, the Mesoamericas, the Europeans, the Celtics. Salt, add salt water, right? Of the earth, wind, candle lit on fire, fire and wind or air. Of course, you're in the water, the salt of the earth. You immerse yourself in that. And you come out and you write a new contract. So the before you jump into the bath, right? Before you make your whole system work with the energy of the moon system and the sun system, before anything that comes up that you're ready to let go, you can jot it down and you burn it and you say, oh, I'm going to wear this. And anytime that thought, that memory, that energy comes up, I'm going to spin this and maybe clap my hands to shift what's possible for you. So fun to really get into it. So before you think about what you want to let go, then you go wash off the past. Then you jump into and you develop so beautifully a new contract. Ah, yes, I'm ready to realize my relationship. And you write down a couple words of what that feels like. Ah, I am ready for the new, if you're ready to move, the new home and the transition to be easy. Ah, even more than that, right? So beautifully, you can write this contract out as if it's already occurred. It's such a gift to give yourself. All right, so we've got that, right? We've got the before, letting go, a system for any time the emotions of the past. You are a bodysuit. What does that mean? Oh, a bodysuit? I'm a bodysuit. Your body, my body, produced while I was resting all of the proteins and the chemicals it thinks I might need. So if there was a little bit of sadness yesterday, it produced enough of those chemicals. There was elation, it produced those. There was frustration, courage. It produced those, right? The dopamine, the adrenaline, the combination. So when I woke up today, if I meditated, some of that protein would have come up and I could be non-reactive to it. You have set up a system that when a protein comes up, right, in your body, frustration or whatever you're letting go, the memory of that. And so it becomes a 5-second, 10-second meditation in the moment. I let that go. Now I feel the new moon, new energy. I'm working with the elementals. elation, maybe because you're on a new step. And so your body then produces that chemistry for you to have access to. That's so important. And it's really an incredible system that the source, oneness, love created. You created. You created this body. Inside the womb, all the instructions were there. The subtle energy, the wholeness that you are, put together the elements that were available in the uterus exactly the way it was meant to be put together. Oh, yummy. You came out of the uterus, and whatever elements, whatever challenges, whatever was necessary was also there. So yummy, or else you wouldn't be here. Why do I say so yummy? The thought that everything you needed was there is so yummy. Yes, there were challenges, but were those challenges something that the meat suit had to work out because of all the previous generations? So Saint Joseph, Father Joseph, that energy, the masculine energy, Mother Mary comes and says, hey, an angel talked to me. An angel said I'm going to have a baby, announces it, announces all of the different challenges. And Joseph, Saint Joseph, the divine masculine energy, protects her, listens to her, believes her at a time when women were killed for so much far less than getting pregnant, being pregnant. And then supporting that journey and allowing and becoming whatever was necessary. And in the stories in Egypt, in the stories, origin stories, there is that divine masculine, Jah. It's the root of the source of the ancient words for miracles, for go miracles. There's so much here. New moon ceremony, to be focused. Before, what you're going to let go, a system for when your body might bring up a memory. Then there is the bath, the ritual, the making sacred. Your body, your vessel. Then, right, part 3, writing the new contract. Today's the best day for you to be writing that new contract. And there is an analogy. This is an analogy. In high school, I was given a locker. The locker had a combination lock. You turn the lock exactly the right way, right? You turn it exactly the right way, and poof, it opens, and all the contents of your locker are there. That's the new moon energy. Poof, your locker is open. The universe opened it. It opens it for everyone, all the elements on Earth. If you were on Mars or if you're on Jupiter, you see our moon differently. If you're at the sun, or if you reach the point where JFK's speech is still a sound wave in the universe, you see the Earth, you see you differently. So here you are, able, the universe is your locker, your specific, what's meant for you is meant for you and no one else. There is no competition for what is yours by divine right. No competition. Such a gift. That locker opens and you can take out the emotions that you're done with, right? So, oh, you can take out imposter syndrome. You can take out the over-analysis. You can take out, people from your past that you're like, I'm so complete with that. You can take out stories that you bring up, your body brings up, that cause you pain. You can write it and burn it. Ritually, symbolically, your body will remember it was burned. You can write it and tear it up and bury it in the earth. Compost it. You put something here, right? In your divine locker. You clean it out. You empty it and you see what you really want now. And of course, there's so much that's yours by divine right. The second you dump something, you empty it, the universe loves to fill it. And so you've written out what you're ready to fill it with. If your divine contract says a beautiful, incredible relationship, and you put a version of that here, but not what the universe has in store for you, right? The universe is just yummy, oh, great thing. And you put down a version of that. It's going to provide you that version. And if you're open, the whole package. So you can't do it wrong, but you must write what you write here. You write here as if it's already occurred. Because where JFK's voice is, or where Mars is, or where the organized system is, it's already occurred. It's already occurred. And so you write it as if it's already occurred, and boom, all of the elements work with you. So fun to share this with you. And so new moon. And we can get into the ceremony, and I'm so excited to answer questions and get into what we're working on together this morning.